What do you really know about loyalty? About silence that can kill faster than a bullet? In the narrow alleys of Palermo, where every shadow hides a story and every church bell tolls for the damned, one man carried a secret that could shatter the Cosa Nostra from the inside. This is not a legend, it's a confession, whispered too late, buried under the weight of guilt and blood. If you think you've heard every mafia story before, you haven't heard this one. So sit back, listen carefully, because in Palermo, the truth dies slower than men do. Part 1. The Letter in the Confessional. Father Antonio, an old priest in the outskirts of Palermo, found an envelope inside the confessional box after evening mass. It was sealed with red wax, the symbol of omertà, the mafia's sacred code of silence. Inside, a single page read,
"Forgive me, Father, for I have killed, but not who you think."
The handwriting was elegant, almost noble. The paper smelled faintly of tobacco and sea salt. Antonio's hands trembled. He had heard confessions of murder before, but this felt like a trap or a plea for redemption. That night, he locked the letter in his drawer, but as he turned off the church lights, he saw a black car parked across the street. Engine running, headlights off. Someone was watching the church. Part 2. The Man in the Gray Suit. 2 days later, Father Antonio received a visitor. A tall man in a gray suit entered the church quietly, leaving wet footprints on the marble floor. He sat in the back pew and waited until everyone had left. Then, without kneeling, he spoke.
"You read my letter, Father?"
The priest froze. The man's eyes were cold, almost sad, like someone already condemned. He introduced himself only as Rossi. He confessed that he had once been an enforcer for the Vitale family, one of Palermo's most feared clans. But lately he had grown tired. Tired of blood. Tired of pretending to be loyal to men who had killed his own brother. And now, he said, he wanted to tell the truth. But to whom? Part 3. The Hidden Tape. That night, Antonio searched the drawer again. He found a second envelope, this one containing a small audio tape. Label, "For When I'm Gone." Against his better judgment, he played it. Rossi's voice filled the room. Calm, tired, but precise. He described meetings, money transfers, murders, names of men still alive, still powerful. And then he said something that froze Antonio's blood.
"One of them wears a collar. One of them hears confessions."
The priest dropped the tape. Someone inside the church was working for the mafia. Part 4. The Visit. A week later, police surrounded the church. They said Rossi had been found dead in the docks, 2 bullets to the head. The inspector handed Antonio a small rosary found in Rossi's pocket, engraved with the priest's initials. That night, Antonio couldn't sleep. He opened the drawer and the letter and tape were gone. Only a note remained.
"You were never supposed to hear it."
The church bell rang at midnight, though no one was there to pull the rope. Part 5. The Archives of Silence. Determined to uncover the truth, Antonio visited the diocesan archives. He found records of donations, large sums funneled through shell charities linked to the Vitale family. Among the signatories, Cardinal Bellini, his superior. He realized Rossi's last words were literal. The church was part of it. But when Antonio tried to bring evidence to the authorities, he was told to forget what he found, or he'd end up like Rossi. Even the police were part of it. Palermo was built on silence. Part 6. The Confession That Never Happened. Antonio recorded his own confession, naming names, telling everything he knew. He placed the tape inside the confessional, just as Rossi had done. He prayed someone honest would find it. But the next morning, the confessional was empty. Only the smell of tobacco lingered, the same scent from Rossi's first letter. Someone had found it first. Part 7. The Last Confession. Years later, when the church was abandoned, a journalist found a hidden drawer beneath the confessional. Inside, 2 tapes, both labeled Confession. The journalist played them, realizing one was Rossi's and the other was Father Antonio's. Both told the same story, but the second ended differently. Antonio whispered in the last seconds,
Forgive me, Lord. I was the one who ordered Rossi's death. He was about to reveal me.
Silence, then the sound of a gunshot. The tape stopped. If you made it to the end, thank you. Please leave a like and subscribe. It helps me create more stories like this one, because some secrets are still waiting to be heard. What do you really know about betrayal in the world of the mafia? On an island where silence was sacred, one man dared to break it, not out of bravery, but out of desperation. His name was Lorenzo Conti, and his story is one of greed, fear, and a miracle that nobody could explain. Sit back. This is not a legend. This really happened. Posture 1. The Banker of Palermo. Lorenzo Conti was not a gangster. He was a banker. Clean suit, shiny shoes, perfect smile. But in Palermo, even bankers had dirt on their hands. In the 1970s, the mafia didn't just control the streets, they owned the banks. They laundered millions through fake companies, and Lorenzo was their golden bridge. He told himself he was only helping clients, but deep down, he knew who those men really were. One night, as he closed his office, he found a letter under the door. No name, just a single line.
You've taken what isn't yours.
He froze. That week, Lorenzo had skimmed a small percentage, thinking no one would notice, but the mafia always notices. Part 2. The Deal with the Devil. When the men came for him, they didn't shout. They smiled, the kind of smile that made your blood turn cold. They brought him to Don Carmine, one of the most feared bosses in Sicily. Carmine sat behind a wooden desk, carving an apple with a small knife.
You stole from me, Lorenzo. That's a sin I can forgive, if you make it worth my while.
Instead of killing him, the Don offered a deal. Help move millions of lire through Swiss accounts, and his mistake would be forgotten. If not, his family would pay. Lorenzo agreed, but at that very moment, he decided something insane. He would rob the mafia itself. Part 3. The Hidden Account. Lorenzo began transferring money to Switzerland, but he opened a secret account under a false name. Every week, he siphoned a few thousand lire. He told himself it was revenge, but it was really greed. He became obsessed with numbers, codes, offshore transfers. His wife noticed he barely slept. His hands shook when he held his morning espresso. One night, his phone rang. A voice whispered,
We know what you're doing.
He smashed the receiver, his breath quick. But the next morning, nothing happened. Days turned to weeks. Maybe, just maybe, he had fooled them. Part 4. The Priest and the Confession. Unable to bear the guilt, Lorenzo went to confession. The small church was empty, candlelight flickering on old stone. He whispered through the wooden screen.
Father, I have sinned. I've stolen from men who kill.
The priest's silence lasted too long. Then came a calm voice.
My son, I know who you are. Leave this island before the blood calls your name.
When Lorenzo looked through the screen, the priest was gone. Only his rosary remained, still swinging. He ran home trembling. The next day, that same church was found, burned to the ground. Part 5, The Escape. Lorenzo took his wife and son, packed what he could, and drove toward Messina. His plan, take the first ferry to the mainland and disappear forever. But as he approached the port, he saw 2 black cars in the mirror. They were following. His son asked,
Papa, are we going on vacation?
He didn't answer. Gunshots broke the silence. Tires screeched. He swerved off the road, into the sea. The car sank. Water filled his lungs. Then, darkness. Part 6, The Miracle. Days later, fishermen found Lorenzo unconscious on a small beach miles away. His family was gone. The police said it was impossible. The currents would have pulled him far out. When he woke, he muttered only one word.
Forgive.
He vanished soon after, living under a false name somewhere in northern Italy. But strange things began happening. Mafia accounts started being drained. Little by little, no one could trace the money. Part 7, The Legend of Lorenzo. Years later, rumors spread in Palermo. Someone was stealing from the Mafia again. Always small amounts, but always clean, untraceable. They called him Il Fantasma, the ghost. Some said Lorenzo Conti still walked among them. Others believed he died and became a myth. But those who lost money remembered his name. And when Don Carmine died, a note was found in his safe.
You took what wasn't yours.
If you made it this far, thank you. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Your support keeps these stories alive. Because in Sicily, silence used to mean safety, but not anymore. What do you really know about the Mafia's war with the church? In the heart of Sicily, where loyalty is sacred and silence is law, one man of faith dared to challenge the most feared organization on the island. They called him Father Lorenzo. To some, he was a saint. To others, a traitor who broke the code of silence. The Omertà. This is not a legend. It's a true story about courage, faith, and the heavy price of defiance. So sit back and listen carefully. Part 1, The Streets of Palermo. Palermo, 1979. The city breathes secrets. Narrow streets, laundry flapping between crumbling balconies, the smell of espresso and gunpowder. Everyone knew who ruled these alleys. They were not politicians, not priests, but men who spoke softly and killed silently. And in this silence walked a man of faith, Father Lorenzo, the priest who refused to bow to the Cosa. Part 2, The Confession. One evening, as the bells of Santa Rosalia echoed through the city, a man entered the confessional. His voice trembled. He confessed to killing a police officer on the orders of Don Salvatore, one of the most feared mafia bosses in Palermo. Father Lorenzo listened, and for the first time felt the true weight of the Omertà, the sacred silence that bound Sicily in chains. Part 3. A Dangerous Secret. By dawn, the priest knew too much. He wanted to go to the police, but a priest's vow of secrecy was sacred. Days turned to weeks. Then, men in dark suits began attending Mass more often, always sitting in the back, never taking communion, watching, waiting. Part 4. Riri Ina, the Warning. One morning, Father Lorenzo found a dead pigeon on the church steps, its neck broken, a message in the old Sicilian way: silence or die. He knew now that the Mafia considered him a liability, but he also knew something they didn't. Faith can make a man fearless. If you've made it this far, thank you for watching. Please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Your support truly keeps these stories alive and help me bring you even more untold tales of the Mafia. Part 5. The Betrayal. The next Sunday, someone betrayed him. The police raided Don Salvatore's estate, and the Mafia knew exactly who had spoken. That night, Father Lorenzo's church burned. Flames climbed the crucifix, but the fire could not burn faith. Part 6. The Final Prayer. They found him 2 days later on the outskirts of Palermo, hands bound, rosary still in his fingers. No witnesses, no sound, only a whisper among locals. He died for truth, and the Mafia learned that fear doesn't silence faith, it strengthens it. Part 7. Legacy of Silence. Years later, people still visit the ruins of Santa Rosalia. Children light candles for the priest who defied the Mafia. No one speaks his name aloud, out of respect or fear, but every flicker of flame says what words cannot. Even in Sicily, silence can burn. Men pass away, but courage never dies. If you felt something while watching this story, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Your reactions, your comments, your support, they truly motivate us to keep creating stories like this one. Thank you for watching, and remember, the ideas never die.